Wednesday.
Not too bad.
Yeah. So we're taking the rest of the week off, folks. I'll still have my phone on for my commercial customers. So if you're stuck, don't be afraid to give us a call. But the rest of these reprobates are getting the rest of the week off.
Nice.
And I use that in the most loving way.
Sure.
Anyways, yeah. So we don't like to miss our live streams every week, so we decided we were going to bump this one up so we at least get one in because we'd missed a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got going on this week?
Oh, nothing. Really.
Nothing.
And
We had too much going on at the front of the week, though.
yeah, Monday was a little busy, but
We had a Monday. We have the mother of all Mondays, right?
yeah. The mother of all Mondays. Yeah, some days it's really busy and some days it's not, and we'll talk about that.
We will.
And then Greg wanted me to mention a new tool I found from Microsoft 365. We'll talk about that as well. And wanted to go ahead and let the people know about the home device that
Shameless plug for this really cool little device that can save your sorry bacon from a security standpoint at home.
Always good to have.
We're going to talk about that just a smidge. I love that thing.
You got one at home, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
And I really like it. And then we got a big replacement project coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Planned replacements. And our little weekly educational piece called Insider Threats. That'll be coming up. But before we get into all that, we're going to give our shameless plug to our residential protection plan.
The Residential Protection Plan by HonorBound IT is the best support and service for home computer users. You get top-notch antivirus, backup, and remote support. Plus, if you need in-store service, it's free. Visit us at 109 Norris Avenue, McCook, or call 877-686-6642. Your digital peace of mind starts here.
Welcome back. So, Keith, while you were gone, I actually talked to somebody about the residential protection plan. They came in with the Microsoft pop-up scam, and I took care of that for them. And it wasn't a good time for her to sign on this week, but she'll be coming in next week to sign up. We'll get her taken care of because the residential protection plan has pretty much everything anybody needs to be safe online. You get your backup. You get remote support, usually with this guy right here. Sometimes you get me or Jennifer, but we're here for remote support, antivirus, and then we do patches and updates. And we also make sure that we're making sure that your equipment is up to snuff. Your computer will, with our little software that we use, will report back things like bad hard drive or maybe the memory getting overused or the CPU getting overused. We can work with you to make sure that you're having a great computer experience and be as secure as possible. So, how was your Monday, Keith?
Oh, Monday was a little wild.
Yeah.
First of the month, Monday. The stars aligned.
They did.
As it happens sometimes.
Yeah, very rarely, but stuff happened over the weekend. And people could not work.
No. They could find other stuff to do, but they couldn't do the stuff that...
They couldn't do the stuff they wanted to do. Yeah. So, yeah, we were running around like a chicken with her head cut off for the first half of the day. Because, of course, Mama Microsoft had to make a few changes. Keith, you never did tell me what they did change.
I don't know what they changed. It looked like there were maybe some different steps involved in, so what we ran into is we use Microsoft Azure servers and our clients connect with a VPN that we can download from those. And some of the processes had changed from last year to this year. So, obviously Microsoft has documentation. We try to document it as well so we can get to it quicker, and we have screenshots and maybe a little bit more easier to explain steps, here internally. But those little changes, this is something you only have to do once a year. And, all of our clients, we have them all pretty much, we do them all at the same time. Hey, we're going to do it at this time of year.
Well, it happened over a weekend too, for crying out loud.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll have to plan ahead, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks ahead or something instead of.
Well, it was in the calendar, but it was in the calendar for the wrong month.
Yeah.
Yeah. These things happen.
Yeah. But, so one of the neat things about using the Azure, the VPN, it's secured so you can access your server, work anywhere. You can get an internet connection, and I don't know how many clients do we have, maybe a dozen.
Yeah, with multiple users, though.
Yeah.
They have multiple people that work there.
Yeah, so, everybody, gets the call Monday morning. I think we got one call on the weekend. We got one call Monday morning, another call.
Well, then we called the rest of them. So this is happening. Really what it was all about is all for their own good, because, it was a certificate renewal, and certificates kind of prove that the computer that you are connecting from is authorized to connect to the servers in Azure and nobody else. If you don't have that certificate, you don't get on. But then to add insult to injury, our antivirus software decided that it was going to work way too well. And because there's a problem with people misusing VPNs and avoiding regulations, antivirus software companies have evidently decided in their infinite wisdom that they need to block installation of said VPN software. So we're going to install it, and it's disappearing, and installing, disappearing. Finally, the third, fourth time it happened, it went, I bet you that's our antivirus EDR software that's doing that. And sure enough, it was. We whitelisted it, and then we were able to get everybody going until you got a call yesterday. Somebody had their own antivirus software, and you had to kind of rinse and repeat the process with their software. But, it's just part of IT. These things happen. We had a lot of stress. Well, you're patient, and you seem to be able to keep an even keel. Me, not so much. A little bit of excitement going on, Keith kept a level head, and he solved the problem. And but then for the rest of the week, we have been flipping bored. Well, we do things, it's just not that it wasn't a typical week. We go back to like learning stuff. And I don't know, do you keep looking at the boards, when looking for stuff to do? Or do you just like go, screw this, I'm going to learn something?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep checking in. I mean, you check once and nothing there. And usually I'm not like just abandoning it, but I'll read something, and then I'll 30 minutes, I'll take a break, check again, nothing, still nothing. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to reading again, and another 30 minutes later, look again, still nothing. Oh, geez. So I think we got one phone call.
Yeah, but like the guys are either out in the field if they can actually get out there. People are on vacation, so our commercial customers have lots of people on vacation. It's just, you feel like the Maytag repairman after a while.
Oh yeah.
And we're not looking for excitement, honestly. We really do like to help people when they're having problems. But we like doing project work more than anything else. I really enjoy doing project work and doing things that enhance the business, rather than firefighting. We don't really care for firefighting a whole lot. And for the most part, we never really do a lot of firefighting, do we?
Well, that's a testament to the systems we have in place where things work. And
they just plain work.
And if we don't get any calls, nobody's having any problems. The problem is everybody comes to sees us or calls us just because they have a problem. When we're not having any phone calls or nobody's walking in the door, it's like, oh, everybody's working. Everything's just fine.
We did our job. You know, the less you hear from us, the better job we did as far as like post implementation stuff. Of course, we do a lot of preemptive stuff where we'll get an alert in the dashboard, and I really did, like at the front of the week and yesterday, did quite a bit of work to make sure that all of the alerts had been taken care of in the dashboard that could be taken care of. Obviously, the one that really makes me mad is our bench machine, because I can never seem to clear that one of viruses because everybody keeps bringing in their janky computers and we keep backing them up and our software keeps blocking viruses. So I on the bench machine, I just gave up, ever clearing that antivirus alert because it's just going to be there. It's going to be there to be the pain in my side and to remind us all that we need good antivirus. If you want to keep off the bench, get into our residential protection plan. You get that antivirus that's going to protect you from getting on the bench in the first place, unless you have a hardware problem, of course.
Yeah.
But no, we got lots of project work that we like to do. We got some big projects coming up. We do managed networking. And, I ordered a failover internet device to replace what we have. And we're going to be replacing a lot of our firewalls that we have. We let them go, 3-4 years, and then it's time, to replace. And so we will be replacing a lot of firewalls. I think, 14 left that we have to do. But we're going to test that internet failover device first and make sure that it's up to snuff, or we're going to get another device to go along with it. Mm-hmm. But if you're in business today, you need the internet. You're pretty much out of business if you don't have it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that failover internet has saved a lot of people that have been on it, we know, because we get notifications that the failover is online, and that's because the main internet had a connection issue. Sometimes it's just a brief minute or something, and we see it check in and it's off, and most people don't even notice that they're on it because they didn't lose any connection, they're still online. Or sometimes we see it, if there's like a power outage or something happened, it's on for a little bit longer. And
my internet's slow. Well, yeah, you're on failover, but at least you're able to work.
Exactly.
You're able to transact a credit card. And for our accounting folks, during tax season, it's absolutely positively imperative that they have good internet, so that they're able to work. Because every minute that they're not working, they're losing money. So, if you're in a small business, we do have these network bundles that we put together. We just put one in the other week at one of our clients. We did one of the first replacements. That was one of them. And we upped their access points, their internet access points, to make that a little bit better, because access point technology has come a long way, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that I was reading about, we talk about things you do when you're bored to bore yourself. I was looking at antenna patterns, and we sell a lot of the Unify equipment. And I was looking at, the quality of the connections that you can get and the radiation patterns. Radio radiation patterns that come off of the various antennas that are in these access points. And there's, the good, better, best kind of deal. Mm-hmm. And then there's the specialty kinds, the outdoors, the point-to-point type stuff. It was just kind of semi-interesting to look at. And when we're in downtime, we want to be up on that sort of stuff so that when you come to us for an access point, or you come to us with a specific project, that we're able to get you the best product for the job at a decent price point. Because if you don't need a high-end access point if you're in a 10 by 10 room, you're in an auditorium or a larger venue, maybe something different, or maybe you have situation where there's a lot of walls, thick walls, that are going to, all of those things that you got to take into account when you design for wireless internet. And all the neighbors. Mm-hmm. That's the other big thing. And that's one of the reasons I absolutely love the Unify system. They make firewalls and that sort of deal that have a lot of the software that's included, that has the ability to analyze like the radio spectrum with your neighbors, so that you can keep your Wi-Fi radios off of the same channel so you get better performance out of your Wi-Fi. So pretty exciting stuff. And they've sort of democratized, that sort of idea from the business world and brought it down to the home level as well. Because we put these devices in businesses that have a little bit more robust requirements, but we have the at-home version. And this is actually an at-home version that I use. It's Unify Express. It's just kind of a little fella, but it has like all of the same software as the big guys, mm-hmm. Other than there's a few features that are missing, but for a small, for a home user or home stay-at-home office application, these things are ideal. Fits in the palm of my hand, and this thing has full firewalling capabilities. It does not have the intrusion protection IDS stuff. There's a bump up from this. That's not much more money that does have that feature. But I've got good firewalling good software on my computer to handle some of that. On the front of it, it has a little display. It's kind of tiny, but it'll tell you how good your internet connection is, the speed up and down. It has your connection for your internet on the one side, and then you can actually connect it to a switch. So if you have multiple items, or maybe you have a single item that you want to connect to it, you have an extra port there. It also has a Wi-Fi 6 access point built into it. So it really is the Swiss Army knife of home or small home office internet capabilities. You can use it to also control other access points. So if you needed an access point somewhere else in the house, or you can mesh them up to get additional range on it. Man, I just love this thing. It's just way awesome. We sell them. They sell on Unify for $150. We sell them for $200 configured. And if you want to have us manage it and make sure that the firmwares are up to date and all that sort of stuff, we'll do that for an initial $50 a year. Nice little device. The other great benefit to this is that you can also separate out networks. So you can have multiple, particularly Wi-Fi networks, where you might have your Ring doorbell, for instance, or other Internet of Things devices on your network that you might want to keep away from your computer network, your TVs away from your computer network. So it has the ability to do VLANs. When I configure these, I make sure there's 3 networks. There's one for everybody, one for your Internet of Things stuff like your refrigerators, your toasters, and what have you, and a guest network so that the neighbor kids can bring their phones in, or Xboxes if they're having an Xbox party or what have you. You can put them on the guest network and keep their stuff away from yours, and increase your security for. It's really very inexpensive option for you. If you're interested in this, give us a holler. We're happy to help you out to one of these. I've only got one in stock, but I get as many as I need. So that was my shameless plug of that little puppy.
Beautiful. Unify Express.
Unify Express. Comes in a pretty little white box. You can tell that the guy who used to work in the design team at Apple did a lot of the design work on this. Can be mounted on the wall if you want as well. So,
Nice.
yeah, pretty cool. So do you want to talk about the connectivity tool that you found?
Yeah, I can go into that. It's far beyond nerdy, but
Yeah, it is. But if you're a Microsoft 365 user, it's a good troubleshooting tool, right?
yeah. So what it does,
I think the link might be on Teams.
the link is on Teams. Yeah, it's
So you'll be able to show this.
It's a tool that connects to the Microsoft 365 servers. So Microsoft has servers all over the world. And for us, most of business users that are using Microsoft 365 and they're using OneDrive, their data is all stored, email files, everything that you use if you're using the Microsoft 365 is stored in the Microsoft 365 servers. And Microsoft 365 has if you're wanting to get started, this connectivity tool is a good thing to have because it kind of tells you, where you're at, where your status is in the ability to connect to the Microsoft 365 servers, how fast your connection is. It'll show you some of the, places that you may need to look at or improve. But yeah, I was just reading up on some of the Microsoft security stuff, and this thing popped up, and I was like, oh, okay, let's click on that. I clicked on it. It just has this little thing, run the tool now, enters your address, so it can tell you where you're at from your internet. It can tell you the closest. It can tell you where your connection is going to the Microsoft 365 server, and how Exchange, your email, SharePoint, your files. Just a lot of neat little things here. And Greg has handed me the laptop, so we will run the tool. Let's see what's going on here. So here it is. When you run this test, we measure the connectivity between your device and the internet, and from there to Microsoft's network. So what it has here, it just says, I'm going to let it automatically detect my location. Oops, get you out of there. And I'm just going to go ahead and run the test here. It's going to want to know where I'm at. I'm going to allow it because I said I wanted to know where it's at. And we'll just let it do this thing. So here's it kind of got started here.
It did 800 tests?
I think it was like 400 and some. Here, we'll do it again on this one. You must install on the application. So if you don't have everything on here, this laptop doesn't get used a lot, so it's probably missing some updates. So let's just go back here. We don't need to worry about all that. at this time. This will do it. But you can see here's your little summary. 42% of people in nearby locations have better network connectivity to Microsoft 365 than your location. Now, we're a little bit more rural. That could be, one of the reasons. Let's see here. So, and I can zoom in on this little map of the United States. It knows that, hey, here I am here's my office here in McCook. And then it goes to the internet out here, about 20 miles away. And then it connects to Microsoft way down here.
Texas.
See, there's our Exchange. That's our email. And this happens in milliseconds. And you know how I know that? Because I ran the tool. I can click on this details tab here, and I can actually look at these details. Here's my location, McCook, the nearest egress location where our network connects to the internet, goes to Trenton. Our distance is 20 miles. And obviously people in the metro area have better connection because they have better internet. And then here's my Exchange service front door location. It's in San Antonio, Texas. 35 milliseconds for me to check an email. It looks like it might be still running some of these other things, but it didn't give me all the details. But yeah, it still says downloading file. And I'm not going to do that because got to do more updates. But
yeah, it's just to give you some sort of an idea of, this is kind of a handy tool if you're wondering what's going on.
Yeah, well, especially if you want to know what's going on, or if you're a business that's thinking about starting to use Microsoft 365. Maybe you're just using the basic Microsoft stuff now, and it's getting you by. Your business is growing. You're adding some employees, and you just want to know how your connectivity is to Microsoft 365. Use this. This is probably better for larger organizations, I would assume. The people that are working in multiple offices, franchises that are probably using this that have 50 locations across the United States or across the globe even. This might be a more helpful tool for them, but it's nice to know that things like this are available and we can look at it and
Yeah, it was just a random thing that you found when you were bored.
Yeah. All the stuff
But
you find.
it is beyond nerdy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in the Microsoft 365 connectivity tool, comment down below in the chat.
And then we also have, one of the other tools that we use is is in Microsoft 365 itself. The health tool, we use that a lot. If we're going to be troubleshooting your 365 stuff, because the cloud's great and all of these services are great, but they're made by humans, and once in a while they fail. Or somebody hits a fiber line, in between here and there, and things have to get rerouted, and they place updates on their stuff that breaks things, So, we use the health tool in the admin center to be able to troubleshoot and say, oh yeah, Teams is having an issue this morning. And they usually give you pretty regular updates as to what they're doing to rectify things or tell you how pervasive a problem is, and they try to give you an ETA where possible. Not always possible, but
They're always working on it.
All right, it's time for that little bit of education on insider threats.
Insider threats are a big concern for organizations. These are threats that come from within. They may be either intentional or unintentional. An employee may steal sensitive information for themselves or try to sell it. A disgruntled employee might try to sabotage the company by deleting files or causing problems with the computer systems. Unintentional insider threats aren't malicious and may be accidental. Clicking on harmful links in phishing emails, messing up system settings, or disclosing sensitive information. Now that we know how to identify insider threats, let's look at 5 ways to prevent them. 1. Train staff on cybersecurity risks and how to spot suspicious activity. 2. Only give employees access to the information they need to do their jobs. 3. Keep an eye on what employees are doing and investigate anything unusual. 4. Have clear policies on how to handle data and what employees can and can't do. And 5. Make sure employees know that keeping information safe is everyone's job. Organizations need to keep cybersecurity a top priority to protect themselves and keep their data safe.
Welcome back. What time is it, Keith?
Time to party?
Almost. But what do we got to do first?
Do we got a cat picture that you have up there?
We got a cat. Ooh, pretty kitty.
Oh, that's not a cat.
That's a kitty cat. I'd love to pet that kitty cat. Take my hand off, though. Yeah, we were at the Lincoln Children's Zoo the other week, and we went to see the cheetah run. And sit there for half an hour for a 30-second run. But man, those little puppies are fast. They are fast. So thought I'd give you a little bit of a different cat picture, but beautiful, beautiful animal. And so if you want to see this animal, go to Lincoln Children's Zoo. It's a good place to go. And on that note, it's Happy Friday on a Wednesday.
Starting the party early. It's a holiday.
Holiday tomorrow. Enjoy your 4th of July. We're looking forward to it. I'm just going to rest and relax. Peggy's going to work, but you got barbecue going on? Or?
Yeah, I'm going to come back with a missing finger. No, it's still there. I'm sure.
Silly rabbit. Jennifer, you got anything going on this weekend?
Well, I'm going to the Freedom Festival tonight.
Freedom Festival. They took that indoors, so that'll be on this evening. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for joining us. We'll see